what's going on, everybody? Noah from Cheeky Barbecue here. Today we are cooking baby back ribs on the Masterbuilt Gravity Series 560.
Alright, so the first thing that we're going to do on this cook is remove the membrane from the back of the ribs. The easiest way to do that is to hold the ribs right in the middle, have them hanging so that they're taut. Work your fingers underneath the membrane in the middle. Sometimes using a paper towel is helpful for this. You're going to grab the membrane, you're just going to pull straight up, and you can see right there the membrane's removed in one single piece. This is definitely the easiest way to get the membrane off, especially when you're doing lots of ribs. Now that the membrane's off, I'm going to start by seasoning the bone side of the ribs. Here I'm using Southbound Barbecue's Primo Pig Powder, which is one of my favorite rubs to use on any pork. I'm going to season the ribs really liberally on the bottom. Sometimes people will use a binder. As long as I give the rub enough time to get absorbed and to adhere to the ribs, I usually don't worry about using a binder. After I season the meat side as liberally as I can, I'm going to flip the ribs over, and now it's time to season the meat side. I'm going to go even more liberal on the meat side here. I'm not going to let this rub sit on here for longer than probably 20 or 30 minutes, so I go a little more liberal on the rub. If I'm using a bigger cut like a brisket or a pork shoulder that can handle more rub or that I'll leave on overnight, I don't necessarily use as much seasoning or rubs because of the length of time that that rub is going to be sitting on the meat.
Alright, so now that we got the rub on the ribs, I want to give these about 20 or 30 minutes to make sure that that rub sticks to the ribs really well, which is perfect timing. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the chamber. I already filled it with fuel, so what I did for this cook is I put some lump charcoal in, a couple wood chunks. Today we're using post oak. Put some more lump charcoal in, a couple more wood chunks, and then topped it off with lump. For me, on this cooker, I found that's the best way to get that smoke flavor. I'm going to take a fire starter down in the bottom, going to get it lit, let it run for about 10 minutes. Then we'll come back and turn the grill on. We're going to preheat it to 225 for the first part of this cook. Alright, so we've been letting the charcoal get lit for about 10 minutes or so. Now what we're going to do, shut both of those doors down, come to the controller, turn it to 225, let the grill start to preheat from there. Alright, so in only a few minutes the grill got up to 225. Now it's time to throw the ribs on. You can see it's smoking really good. It's going to be great. Come in here, we'll throw the ribs on. Alright, so it's been about an hour and a half. Ribs have been in here, meat side up for at 225. Let's take a look, spray these down. This is just apple cider vinegar. Getting a little bit of pullback here, which is great. That's what we want to see. We'll just spray them down. All right, so these have been going for a few hours now at 225. This is about the time when I like to wrap them in foil and some other goodies. So let's take a look, see how they're looking. All right, so the ribs are looking good. I'm happy with the bark that's on these. Great color. You can see we're getting some pullback on here, which means they're almost finished. I've got some foil. I'm going to double wrap. I put a little bit of parquet. You can also use butter. I put some brown sugar. I put a little bit more of the rub that we were using. Now I'm going to add some hot honey just for a little bit of extra kick on what we're doing. All right, so I got both racks wrapped in all the goodies that we put together. I turned the temperature up to 250. Now I'm gonna put these in for probably about an hour, hour and a half. You could go to 2 hours if you want, but we'll kind of test to see the pliability of the ribs before we decide how long we're gonna go. At least an hour. All right, ribs have been on for about an hour and a half. Now it's time to pull them off. And what I like to do, sauce them up a little bit, put them back on for just about 20 or 30 minutes to tack that sauce up, and then they're ready to eat. All right, guys, so there you have it. Modified 3-2-1 version of ribs. Leave the competition ribs for competitions. When I'm cooking at home, I want fall off the bone ribs. Grab one of these guys.